Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the first preview and predictions video of this week. Now, what I've done is taken the grid and divided them up into 3 groups based on what we saw in pre-season testing. For today, though, the focus will be on what I guess you could call the Backmarker battle. Now, although they were the slowest in testing, there is a lot of positivity around Sauber and there's almost like a feeling of a new dawn around the team. I'll be honest, right off the bat, I can't see them finishing any higher up the order this season, but they will be much closer to the midfield than we have seen in previous seasons. To be fair, it is actually really encouraging to see that they are not completely cut adrift from that midfield group. The car itself looks great aesthetically and has shown some okay pace, not spectacular, but okay. But it also does look a real handful, and that was backed up by the fact that both Charles Leclerc and Marcus Ericsson spent quite a bit of time in the gravel in Barcelona. As we know, of course, they are backed by Alfa Romeo, but that backing didn't come until late on in 2017, and so probably didn't have a huge say in the design of their 2018 car. But there is no doubt we will see development throughout the year. However, I have a feeling that they could already have one eye on 2019. Of course, absolutely, they have not written off 2018, they just wouldn't do that. And it does seem very early to be talking about next season already, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility that the team are already looking at how they're going to spend that Alpha money and how that's going to lead to the development of next year's car. And to be fair, if they were to do that, it could see them in good stead for 2019, so it is a possibility. Focusing on 2018, I do fully expect them to pick up points this year. I don't think they're going to pick up loads, but I think they will get a few on the board. But the chances are those ahead will outdevelop them over the course of 2018, so points on the board early could be critical for Sauber, sort of capitalising on the struggles of those around them. But as one of the underdogs on the grid, I think it's fair to say that we would all like to see them do fairly well in 2018. On to the drivers then. And for me, it's actually quite an interesting dynamic in some ways. You've got Charles Leclerc, who's probably got an eye on what is potentially a vacant Ferrari seat next season, or perhaps at the very least a move to Haas for 2019. So he's going to be pretty keen to impress. Ericsson, though, for me, will probably see this as an opportunity to prove his doubters wrong. If he can stay close to his highly rated teammate, perhaps, just perhaps, people will start to see him in a new light. That being said, though, I honestly think Charles Leclerc will win out over the course of the season. I don't think Ericsson will be a million miles away, but the Swede will definitely be looking to give him a run for his money. On to Williams then, and there was so much optimism around the team heading into pre-season. I think it's fair to say mainly because we were all looking forward to seeing what Paddy Lowe's influence would have on the team, but they really did struggle in Barcelona. They were bottom of the timesheets for the whole of the second week, and although people will point to the fact they didn't run any of the softest compound of tyres, once the times were adjusted to take that into account, they were still only around 8th quickest. And whichever way you look at it, that is just not good enough. Paddy Lowe himself even alluded to some concerns and accepted that they haven't got the best out of the car by any stretch. It was also confirmed that the team were struggling to get the tyres to work during the test, which is something that absolutely can be fixed, but it's not something that can be fixed quickly. Whilst they are more than likely the second slowest on the grid as we head to Australia, I kind of feel like once they've got the problems with the tyres sorted, they've got a better understanding of the car, and Sirotkin and Lance Stroll have got some races under their belt and obviously therefore a better understanding of the car from their perspective. I fully expect they will climb the pecking order. The thing is though, even if they do climb the pecking order, with the rest of the midfield already showing strong pace, reliability, they've got more experienced drivers, and will develop their cars as quickly, if not even quicker than Williams, I cannot see them reaching their target of 5th or higher. I really can't, as much as I want to. Very quickly on the drivers then, and I think to be honest they've both got a lot to learn, but I do feel that it's inevitable that as the season wears on they will both improve. As of right now, I think Sergei Sirotkin is the quicker of the two, but Lance Stroll has got a year's worth of experience behind him, and that could prove very valuable. Many are predicting that Sergei Sirotkin will beat Stroll quite comfortably this year, but I'm not too sure to be honest. I actually think it will be really close between the two of them. It will be very hard fought, and to be honest, I think they'll both be pretty keen to repay the faith that Williams have put in them for this season. I think it's fair to say that the surprise package of pre-season testing was Toro Rosso. The car showed solid pace with both drivers posting competitive times compared to those around them, but more importantly, that Honda engine looks very reliable. The fact is they used just 3 engines over the course of 2 weeks of testing, with the team insisting that this was entirely through choice. The truth is though, even if the changes were forced, it is still a massive improvement from Honda. Throughout the winter I've been saying and maintained that I did not expect Honda to be as bad as was being predicted for them. And I fully expected Toro Rosso to finish in and around where they did in 2017, and believe me, that got me some stick. Last year, they finished 7th in the Constructors' Championship, and they've got a good shot at being able to challenge for that again this year. Obviously, running an engine in the cooler temperatures and in testing trim is completely different to running it in race trim and in the temperatures of, let's say, Bahrain. So I don't think we fully know just how reliable that engine is, but let's be honest, it probably really couldn't have got any worse. I think they will challenge the midfield this season at times, but with other teams already well ahead on pace, almost inevitably going to outdevelop them through the course of the season, and with the possibility that Honda are already looking at development for 2019 if they're going to put that in the back of the Red Bull, which has kind of been alluded to by James Key. Although I think they will be in that battle for 7th, I kind of think the best they can hope for is 8th. But to be honest, I found Toro Rosso one of the toughest ones to call so far. Looking at the team's drivers, and although Gasly and Hartley did race towards the end of 2017, to be honest, I do still regard them as rookies. This for me is another fight between teammates that will be very, very close, and also has another interesting dynamic thrown in there as well. You've got two drivers who are going to be very eager to impress and show us all what they can do, but two drivers that will be acutely aware that there is a seat potentially opening up at Red Bull in 2019. Now, Daniel Ricciardo may stay, and it's likely that Carlos Sainz is the preferred option to replace him. But if Carlos Sainz decides he doesn't want to go to Red Bull, okay, fair enough, he has a contract, but there are ways out of contracts. That could leave them looking towards Gasly or Hartley. Okay, it's all down to Ricciardo and Sainz as to what they decide, but once again, Toro Rosso could have two drivers fighting for a vacant Red Bull seat. Keep an eye on that scrap. As to who I think will finish ahead out of those two, it's very tough to call because we didn't really see enough of them last season. And as we've seen in other formula of racing, they are two very quick drivers. But I'm going to say, by the very finest of margins, Pierre Gasly will just edge out Brendan Hartley. But it is a teammate fight that I'm really looking forward to. They are just my opinions, of course, but what are your thoughts on Sauber, Williams and Toro Rosso for 2018? Let me know in the comment section down below. I will be back tomorrow night at 7 PM UK time for our usual midweek live stream, and my midfield preview and predictions video will be up on Thursday. In the meantime, though, you can follow me on social media. Links to Facebook, Twitter and Discord are all in the description down below. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.